came to Green Chimneys about the same time. She had a bad leg, and I had problems too. Helping her get better made me feel better too. We both knew we wanted to run together someday.
For 50 years, Green Chimneys has been healing the minds and saving the lives of our children in need.
Green Chimneys cares about me.
Green Chimneys is a residential juvenile rehabilitation center in Brewster, New York, that brings together kids and animals who all need a second chance in life. Over 300 injured, orphaned, or abused animals have found a home here. This is also home to over 100 troubled kids, many from the harsh streets of New York, a world away. Many of the kids sent to Green Chimneys have been diagnosed with emotional disturbances and possibly genetic disorders. They can be aggressive, impulsive, angry, and very distrustful of others. The majority of the children are sent from New York City courts and social services. Dr. Susan Brooks, the farm psychologist, describes their tenuous condition.
You know, they were on their last legs. They were right on the edge of falling over the cliff and not coming back in terms of their own life and psychological development.
Bruce and Frances were dealing with their own problems 2.5 years ago when they were sent to Green Chimneys. Before Frances came here, he was belligerent and at times uncontrollable. It was later discovered that Frances has Tourette's syndrome and is bipolar, a mental condition resulting in severe mood swings.
Nobody knew what was wrong with me. And I can't think like everybody else can, you know. Because I'm bipolar, I think totally different. When I go to sleep, I dream totally different. And everything is weird.
Frances's difficulties caused him at times to be quite aggressive.
I set a house on fire, and I ran away from my house for a while. And my mother felt uncomfortable with that.
Frances's mother thought she had no choice but to send him to Green Chimneys.
When I took Frances to Green Chimneys the first day, I didn't feel good about it because I thought they were going to take him away from me.
I thought I wasn't going to come home again. I thought it was going to be like a jail.
Bruce is another resident at Green Chimneys. He was put up for adoption as an infant and has endured foster homes and institutions.
Those places were not so good. They locked, the doors are locked. In the hospital, their doors, one there down there is locked, another one there. I was at one place, but I went there twice. When I was little, and then I went back to home, and then I had more problems, so I went back to Stony Brook.
At the age of 11, Bruce was sent to Green Chimneys.
I didn't feel comfortable, talking to people that much about my feelings, and I used to, keep it all inside and let it, erupt on one person, would take all my anger on one person.
In the beginning, the situation seemed bleak for Bruce and Frances. But as they began to spend time at the farm, trust grew between them and the animals, and life began to change. Frances developed a very close bond with a cow named Scarlet. Green Chimneys is one of the few therapy centers where children with special needs come together with animals who are in peril. Timothy Stack from the ASPCA tells how Scarlet escaped her own crisis and found a home at Green Chimneys.
Scarlet was the first cow that I could ever remember being at large in my 9 years working at the ASPCA in the streets of New York City. Scarlet had gone to a slaughterhouse up in the Bronx, but I guess Scarlet was a little too smart for him, and Scarlet escaped. Everybody was chasing her around the neighborhood. She went through a lot. And Scarlet now lives up here. She looks happy. She looks fat.
Paul Kupchak, the director of the Farm and Wildlife Center, is responsible for all the animals at Green Chimneys.
When Scarlet came here, she was only about so tall, and needed an awful lot of care. She was suffering from upper respiratory infections. We weren't even quite sure if she was going to live. To get better, she was not only going to need medicines and medications, but she was going to need love.
Scarlett, when she came here, she was sick, so we had to clean her and wash her and everything, and take care of her for a while.
She came here because things in her life were not right. And as I think back of those days, I say, what a perfect way for an animal and a child to meet. At 2 points in two living things' lives when things are not going right. And each of them gave each other one an opportunity to help.
When I have problems or anything, or when I'm down or anything happens to me and I feel like somebody to talk to, I talk to the animals.
He understands that the animals can't talk back to him, but when he's near them, his heart can feel what's inside of their heart, and their heart can feel what's inside of his heart.
Francis has realized that their strong bond comes from their both having been rescued from New York.
It was the same thing, like when she came from New York and I came from New York, she was rescued, I was rescued. So it makes us two the same.
Scarlett has helped Francis to trust people again.
Over time, the child begins to feel safe and secure and may risk one more time opening up their heart again to be able to let in another human being.
Another one of the farm animals that seems to be a favorite of the children is a Yorkshire pig named Babe. Bruce and Babe have become buddies. She was rescued from a small apartment in New York City by the ASPCA.
And they confiscated Babe and asked if we'd give Babe a home. She's gained, 400 or 500 pounds since those times.
When many children arrive at Green Chimneys, they are so emotionally closed down, they are unable to trust humans. Talking to the animals is a first step in allowing them to express themselves and open up.
I would talk to Babe when I go to the farm when I'm angry or sad. Babe stays and listens to your problems. I want to say thank you, Babe, for being there for me and being my friend. When I started talking to animals, it made me feel more comfortable, and I felt that I could talk to people, too.
As the children improve and meet their goals, they are slowly integrated back into the society they once knew. For the last 12 months, Francis has been going home to Queens, New York, to visit his family each weekend. This is part of the process the children undertake as they prepare to go home for good. Francis's family has stood by him during the difficult times.
What's up, Gilbert?
They are now excited by his progress.
He works with the animals. Francis has learned to love and to take care of others.
He's more calm now. He's more, he's behaving better. He treats people better than he used to treat them before.
He started doing much better as he changed a lot.
He learned to love others, the same as the animals.
The progress in a child's life comes in many different forms. Now Bruce will learn how to share his love with Babe.
Babe is going on 4 now, and she's having difficulties walking around. She's actually gained so much weight in such a short period of time that her legs can't hold her up. We're going to have to start processing Babe's not feeling well with some of the children, and especially with Bruce.
Paul and the kids called Dr. Walker, the vet, to see how they could help ease Babe's pain.
Hey guys, how's Babe doing?
She seems to be a little more comfortable.
Pigs spend most of their life up on their feet anyway. They're not used to laying down unless it's in mud. So I think her wrists are hurting pretty badly. They're about the size of my hand, and to carry 600 pounds on these little hooves is quite a bit to ask. So right now, the best thing you guys can do for her would be to just care for her, you know, cold soak her feet as often as you can. If she has a big basin of cold water out in the barnyard that she can lay in, that would be great.
Bruce learned that he could be responsible for another living being. He could open up his heart and give back.
Don't get me, babe.
All right. You know, sometimes in life, a lot of love and a lot of respect and a lot of care are all you can do.
Babe the pig has really helped me by helping me like express my feelings, talk to people, and trust them. The staff and the animals helped me, and I'm just happy that they were there for me. And I think now I'm gonna give what I learned to other people so they could pass it on.
Contributing to society is one of the most important lessons the children can learn. Often, some of the more responsible students will share their knowledge and love of farm animals with people less fortunate than themselves through a program called Farm on the Move. The Richmond Center in Yonkers, New York, is home to severely challenged individuals who enjoy their interaction with the animals. Bruce and Frances have gained a real feeling of self-worth from this experience. Dr. Samuel Ross, the founder and executive director of Green Chimneys, feels this experience of sharing is a crucial part of the children's healing process.
They can gain from that the knowledge that you can become a productive, independent adult, and there's something in life there for you if you only follow through on it. Don't give up. If you want to return children to their home settings, this is what they need.
With a lot of effort, each child someday will leave Green Chimneys.
I've been here 2 years and a half. I feel better. I feel that I'm ready to go home, that I learned a lot. I've gone a long way. Back then I was going AWOL and not listening to my family. And now I think I'm doing better. I'm not running away. I'm just living a normal life.
Everything that is done at Green Chimneys is aimed at sending kids back into society. The release of rehabilitated animals shows these children that they too can heal and go on with their lives. Today, Paul, Frances, and Bruce will see if 2 red-tailed hawks are ready to be released back into the wild.
Frances, any idea why you think I'm feeling today might be a good day to send this bird home?
Because she got stronger and she healed and she's ready to go out there.
It's going to be a great day today, isn't it?
It's an exciting day.
This group of kids, who were sent to Green Chimneys out of darkness and despair, come to this sunny hillside to partake in the liberation of healed birds. In the birds' release, they see their own hope.
We've worked very hard to help this bird recover, if that's the case, or this animal to get better, or to live longer, and we've helped this child. But you have to understand that this is what I'm hoping to be a short period in the child or in the animal's life. And there's a whole life ahead of us.
Today we've opened up the door to a brand new life for them.
Say they're reborn.
Life can go on, and life can be made good again.
We'll give her a final flip. We'll try to get her up high. It may take her a few seconds to realize that she's free. She may even land on the ground for a minute. We'll just have to stand back and give her space. Okay? Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
2 months later, Francis returned home. He is in a new school and is doing well. For now, Bruce remains at Green Chimneys, making great strides. Though the challenges faced by these children are as dramatically different as the animals they have befriended, each has experienced a similar small miracle. Through the human-animal bond, trust and love have taken flight, and both the children and the animals have been transformed forever.
It's not far from the streets of New York City to the fields of upstate New York. But for some kids, it's another world. For these kids who've grown up around hard pavements and hard realities, there's a place to help them, a farm named for its distinctive smokestacks. Peter Van Sant takes us to a place called Green Chimneys, where troubled kids get some nurture from nature.
Old MacDonald had a farm, but it was never like this. Why are you here?
I'm bad.
Up here, you, like in a quiet place, you have animals to talk to, you see animals. You talk to anybody down in the city, they like try to kill you.
Before I go to bed, I say, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up and go to work at the farm. Everything's going to be all right.
This farm is called Green Chimneys. It's home and school for some 100 youngsters, ages 6 to 21.
Can you give her a pat? Attaboy.
But it's also a barnyard psychiatric center that's become a last chance for troubled kids.
The animals give these kids their first chance at being able to nurture something.
Paul Kupchak is Green Chimneys' animal man.
They come here angry and they come here depressed. After working with the farm animals, the depression seems to leave them, the anger seems to leave them, and they start to think about more positive things.
Some of the children at Green Chimneys have been in and out of psychiatric hospitals, emotionally disturbed kids whose lives seemed unsalvageable. But many have made remarkable turnarounds here, healed not by some fancy psychiatric treatment, but by caring for and talking to animals.
Hey, shut up. You shut up.
Jesse is 12 years old. He's a new resident of Green Chimneys, and he has an attitude.
I didn't want to come here. You're the one that told me to come here. Didn't you? I asked you to give it a chance.
Cheryl is Jesse's mother.
I was going to like it, but you still told me to come. But you're not giving it a chance.
This balcony over here, I understand you jumped off that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I just wanted to.
Jesse's biological father is now in prison. He was a violent man, often beating Cheryl while Jesse watched.
Do you think that affected him?
Yes. He has such anger in him. He just wants to hit people all the time.
Do you think you need some help?
Yeah.
You gonna let them help you?
I don't know.
There you are.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
My name ain't Jeff. My name's Rambo.
How's it going, man? Jesse's going to definitely be a tough kid here.
Stinks in here.
He seemed very angry, and he seems very, very depressed. You got him? Oh, see, this guy's got blood on his head. It looks like he was in a fight. A lot of these animals have had tough lives before they got here, so I think they feel pretty good about being held. What do you think?
He's nice.
So what's in
This
here?
is a rabbit.
Wow,
Holy!
it's a goose. It's a big goose. Look at that. You want to take him down the pond, get him out of this small box?
Let's go.
Did you ever hold a goose before?
No.
You know, sometimes it even amazes me at the change a kid can go through in such a short period of time.
Oh, look at that big eggs.
See that? However many eggs are in here is however many days she's been laying. And I'm sure that at this point he's not thinking about the problems he's had with his family and the places that he's been before he came here. 12 eggs. In how many?
No, she got one hidden.
Put
14.
14?
15. She's hiding some.
Still think this place is stupid?
No.
Albie, how's your donkey doing?
Pretty good.
What have you been doing with him?
Like Jesse, 15-year-old Albie is trying to overcome serious emotional problems.
And take care of him.
Albie suffers from depression and hyperactivity.
We like each other.
Albie's very best friend is a donkey.
What's his name?
Atreo.
Atreo. And you talk to Atreo?
Yep.
Is he your buddy?
Yep. All the time.
As somebody would look at that and say, you're talking to a donkey. I mean, what can that do for you? What does it do
You
for
know
you?
what I say to them? Get lost. Get lost. You don't know the feelings that me and the donkey have. So, get lost. Watch out, Atreo. Bumpy here.
Albie's been at Green Chimneys for more than half his life.
Oh, if you fall down, pick up. Oh.
The animals here haven't cured his problems, but they do help him feel better.
Yes. Very good.
What do you talk to Atreo about?
The sadnesses I have from not being home. And, basically, I talk to him about general life and how we're going to be when we die. He understands that. And it'd be very hard for me if this donkey dies. I really feel bad.
With Albie, it seems almost an obsession rather than a therapy. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Albie really does fall in love with the animals. I think you've heard him mention death quite a bit as he's talking to him.
No, I know he's going to hurt you. I'm right here.
What do you think would happen to Albie if Atreo died?
Boy, that's something I don't want to think about. I mean, I doubt very much that the donkey's going to drop dead, as in his dream. God, please don't let that happen, because that's going to reinforce...
Moments later, Paul discovers a sick lamb.
What's the matter? Look at how she's swollen up there.
Albie comes face to face with his obsession.
He died?
No, she's not feeling good. Albie, in the wildlife building, on top of the feed bin, is a yellow blanket. Would you get that for me?
Want to pick her up? I can do
No,
it.
I just want you to get the yellow blanket.
She gonna make it?
I hope so. You take this corner.
It smells like it's dying.
Does that scare you a little bit when you see something like that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Because, you know, some people are worried about how you'd react if Atreo ever died, because he's such a good friend of yours.
That's right.
How do you think you'd handle it?
I'm a little shaky, but I can handle it.
Unlike Albie, 13-year-old Marcelo is almost ready to leave Green Chimneys and head back to his home in the South Bronx.
What was life like in the Bronx for you?
When I was in the Bronx, there was a lot of killing and everything and a lot of drugs using. And up here, it's like a whole world turned around.
You wouldn't know it now, but Marcelo used to be a depressed, angry kid.
And what I'll do is put the rope in here.
Marcelo was able to overcome his depression by helping animals who have their own problems.
These kids are able to take an animal that's been orphaned, injured, an animal that very well may have died, and be such an important part of that animal's life. Now, you want to give them a shot at flying from the perch to your hand? The deep, deep-rooted feeling of finally doing something good in life comes out for them. Yeah, great.
For the last 6 weeks, Marcelo has been nursing this injured hawk back to health.
And tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be able to put this guy back out into the wild, where he belongs, right?
Yep.
I think he realizes that the rehabilitation of the animals is similar to what we're trying to do with them. We're trying to get them back home, and make them feel better, and make them be well.
One weekend a month, Marcelo returns to his home, beginning what will be a difficult transition from farm to inner city.
I want you to tell me what life is like here.
Life is crazy.
What's crazy?
Hardly most of the people. They kill, they use drugs, they sell drugs.
I'll tell you, after just this walk from the subway, I think I'm ready to go talk to the animals.
Oh, better?
There's enough rats in this city. How come you have a rat for a pet?
Because these are funny rats. They're special.
I'm Kathy.
And you're his sister?
I'm...
How's Marcelo doing since he's been going to Green Chimneys?
Well, before he left us, he was troubled. He had this attitude that, you know, we just couldn't handle it, you know. But now what I see, he's helped a lot of people and he's really changed.
Aren't you worried that if he comes back home, those problems could resurface, or do you think they're...
No, I think they're gone.
What do you think, Marcel?
Yeah, I do too.
He's ready to come home.
This is one of the lucky ones.
Oh, bye, little birdie. What he's gonna do now?
For the kids and the animals at Green Chimneys, being one of the lucky ones means going home in much better shape than when you arrived.
You guys want to wish them good luck?
When the kids go back into Manhattan or into the South Bronx, they go back to the same things that were there when they left. We hope they go back with a little bit of a feeling of wanting to care a little bit more about themselves, about the people, about their families.
What do you think, Alvy?
We can only hope.
Okay, Marcelo, you ready? Marcelo would just like to say one word before he makes the release.
Say goodbye. Bye.
Good luck.
Good luck. Let him go. Up, go on, go.
Do you think it's ready for the outside world?
I think so. And I hope he makes it too.
The program receives state and federal funding, but about 10% of its budget comes from donations. And since it was founded 44 years ago, the farm has been home for nearly 4,000 troubled kids. There's now a waiting list to get in.
Our last hero for this hour is Dr. Samuel Ross. He's a farmer psychologist who many years ago founded Green Chimneys, a residential center in upstate New York for the treatment of troubled young people. Besides doctors and social workers, Green Chimneys has 250 animals on its working farm. Early on, Dr. Ross recognized the healthy bonds which often developed between the young people who were disturbed and the animals which needed care. And ever since, both domestic animals and injured wild animals have been an important part of the therapeutic atmosphere. Many of the children who come to Green Chimneys have lived all their lives in the crowded city of New York. Their weeks and months at the farm with Dr. Ross and his dedicated staff and the animals are filled with healing, protection, guidance, and love.
Imagine you're a family coming to Green Chimneys and you are going on a tour. You come into the office, the child is very depressed, he's got already has a big case record, the parents are very fearful about what's going on, and you go up to the farm and suddenly all these animals rush at you. You get a chance to pet them and they lick you and the birds, everything just seems to come alive. You get a feeling, you know, they take good care of their animals here. Look how nice they look. Look how they're behaving. I bet they're going to do that for me. I think they're going to take good care of me. Our children come from some of the most difficult and disturbing places that we know of, and they've fallen apart. And the one thing that they can rely on that's not going to tell any secrets on them, and they can tell anything and it's going to be guarded, and that's the animal. Ricky and Guy make excellent hosts. I'm not ashamed to take them anyplace. They can go out, they can talk about the animals. They're friendly, they're outgoing. Children don't come here that way.
The reason I came here is like at school, like I wasn't really like getting along, like I was like acting up and like bothering people.
Well, how do you feel that the adults have helped you here?
At first I would never like, I wouldn't like talk out my problems. Then after a while I realized that I'm not getting nowhere, I'm just keeping all this stuff inside. And then I was like, hey, I gotta get it out somehow.
And I figured, like, talk to somebody that I trust. And then I talk to them, and then, like after a while, you feel better that you got all of that out of you.
It's like poison, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just get the poison
Out of you.
Then you're able to do so many constructive things.
Or, like, if you got a favorite animal, like, you can even try talking to that animal.
And so you talk to the animal about your problems.
Like the pigeon, sometimes I talk to them, tell them that I'm mad.
And how do you think that they respond to you? Do you think they understand what you're saying?
Some of them, I think, understand. Different breeds, like the babies come out different sizes.
What kind of breeds are there?
We got flights, we got homers, we got a turbot. Those are ice pigeons.
What are they?
Ice pigeons, because of the color. It looks like they could survive in the ice.
Can I go in?
When I was younger, when I was home, like, I always had interests in the pigeons. Like, I like the colors and the ways that they fly.
Ricky, do you think that pigeons have feelings like people have feelings?
I think they do. You may think that they're not hurt, but I think they do feel hurt sometimes. Like when they crash into something, when they're not looking. Or like when other birds pick on them.
So you see a lot in the birds that are like behavior of people, don't you?
But they never hurt each other, though, when they pick on them.
They don't?
They may lose a couple of feathers, but they always go back. They always go back.
Ricky loves pigeons.
He loves pigeons.
And knew so much to tell me about pigeons. And Guy, of course, loves horses and ferrets.
Sometimes if he gets scared, he'll run to me.
Then you take care of them, huh? You know Guy will take care of you, don't you? And what's your ferret's name?
Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Now you can tell that Ricky cares about you.
Like times when I take him out to play, like when I know when I'm like happy and I let him out, he runs around. But times when like I'm sad and I let him go out, he stays near me and kind of plays with me and stuff like that.
The children first learn to care for an animal. Remember, this is a reversal for them. Many of them have been poorly nurtured because of very difficult circumstances. So now they become the nurturer, and they learn to care for an animal and to be concerned about the animal. Then they begin to work with a peer, maybe around the same animal, maybe around a different animal. And then they begin to need the adult, and they begin to work with the adult. And they feel that now the adult plays an important role in their life. The animal has served its initial purpose of bringing you together.
Mr. Kopchak, we got a bird that looks like it's dying. So we got a place?
I can't feel right in here. You feel that?
That's at a place.
I think it's dislocated in there.
How do you fix that?
I don't know. Maybe gotta take an x-ray. I'm sort of the overseer of the farm center and the wildlife center. When Ricky and myself get a chance to talk, some of the things that he asked me, I can remember myself asking someone older than I was and someone who knew a little bit more than me about pigeons, those very same questions. And it's a thrill for me to be able to answer them for him.
Paula, you've taught the children so much yourself. Are there things that you feel the children have taught you?
Well, I'll tell you, the children have reinforced for me that happiness is not going out and making $1 million, but happiness is giving. The kids have given me a tremendous feeling of self-worth in this lifetime.
Why do you think that it works that children and animals could help heal each other?
You know, I think the animals teach the kids how to trust themselves.
What a service.
There really isn't a book that's ever been written on how to work with an emotionally disturbed child and a cow, or a book written on how to work with a child like that and a horse.
Your head is so big, Big Ben. Okay. He's a real nice horse. I like the color of his hair and stuff. He's really big. He's fun. He's not like real aggressive. He's nice and calm. Kenta? Kenta? Kenta?
When the kids are riding the horse, they learn responsibility, they learn balance, they learn concentration. If you're up on an animal that weighs 1,000 pounds, you've really got to concentrate on what you're doing. And it's my feeling that that concentration allows the kids to forget about some of the problems they've had in their lives. You know, to forget about, you know, maybe the father who's in jail, maybe the mother who's a drug addict, maybe the brother who sells drugs. And for 40 minutes or 45 minutes, the child's mind just gets a chance to forget about those things.
Good, good. I told him that he's doing real good and I'm proud of him, stuff like that, and that he did a good job.
When you say he's doing well, do some of the adults tell you you're doing well?
Mm-hmm. They told me a lot to learn what I've done wrong and how to work with my problems and to solve them in a good way. And if it wasn't for them, I'd probably be having a lot of trouble.
How do you think Dr. Ross has helped you?
Well, first of all, by making the place. It's kind of like, well, it is. The staff take care of us, we take care of the animals. And then, like, the canes, the animals try to care for us sometimes, like when we feel bad.
Do you think they understand you?
Mm-hmm.
Animals bring out a lot in us that we, and they do know what we're thinking about, and they respond. And when we're feeling sad, they come to make us feel better. You know, it's not kooky. It's real stuff.
Each day is basically a story, but there are definitely a couple of stories that, when I think about, almost bring a tear to my eye and certainly get my heart going. And one of them, which just recently happened, was one of the boys was holding a rabbit in his hand, and he had come up to the farm because he was having a problem in the classroom. He was hyperactive, and he was fighting with one of his classmates. He took the rabbit out of the cage, put the rabbit on his lap, and the rabbit calmed him down almost immediately. And I said, how does that make you feel? And he said, it makes me feel calm, and it makes me feel very loving. And I said, explain that. He says, well, I can feel the love in the rabbit going through my hand, through my arm, and right into my heart. And when that love is in my heart, it calms me right down. And I thought that was pretty amazing. So this little owl was hunting at night and got hit by a car, and it left him with a very, very bad concussion. When they see an animal heal, they realize themselves that they can heal. When one of our kids is ready to go back home, we try very often to have a ceremony for the child by releasing an animal that itself was injured or orphaned or somehow distressed back out into the wild as a symbol of the child going home and the animal also going back out into the wild. I think this looks like a nice area. Let's all say, give him a good wish and say a little prayer and hope that he's able to go back out into the wild today, okay? Just take a second.
Bless you, little owl.
When they see a wild animal that was injured get better and be turned out into the wild, they also realize that they're being cared for. And while they're at Green Chimneys, they're getting well. And they too are going to go home at some point.
It's like a rebirth. We have to give them a chance to be re-educated, to grow again, and hopefully to return, and to be strong enough to sustain whatever things are happening and not to fall backwards again. The children have plenty of deficits, but we need to build up on their strengths. So it'll be a war between the strengths and the deficits, and the strengths will win. The children are my life. They keep me young. It's not so terrible to devote your life to one thing and to make one thing good. And I think I'm making one thing good.
Who's helping America's children? Countless people like the ones you've met this hour. People who are making one thing good and doing it for the children. And discovering along the way that the children are making an important difference in their lives. You know, the toughest thing about producing this program was choosing which heroes to introduce to you. And of course, that in itself is the most hopeful thing of all. All across our country, in every neighborhood, there are people insisting on a good start for the young and doing something about it. It's been a privilege to be able to celebrate